all right. What is going on, YouTube?
Hey.
We are live. We are live.
What
We
up?
are live. What is good? We got the lovely ladies on the panel tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new guest to the show. Kit, what up? What up?
Yeah,
What up? What up?
Hey,
What up?
everybody. Hey. Woo.
So I would love for you to introduce yourself, introduce what you do, and let the people know what time it is.
Well,
Mhm.
for one, thank you all for having me on. This is an amazing experience. I love to be able to mix and mingle with my people and have intelligent thought come through. So, super excited. I am Kit Grimes. I am the owner and operator of the Edible Incredible, where we educate. Is it an echo?
Hold up 1 second. That's me. There is an echo. That's me. That is me. I had it playing in the back. Crazy.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
1 second. 1 second.
Mm, 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 mm.
Does anyone
And
have YouTube playing in the background?
Mm-mm.
mm-mm. I don't hear echo now. Sounds clear.
You don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
All right. So we're good. We are
We
good.
are good.
I would like for you to please restart what you was just saying about your business.
No
Hold up.
what?
It's happening again.
Is it?
It's happening again. I hear it on my side.
Mm.
It's echoing for sure. Hold on. I'm gonna leave the studio and come back.
Okay.
But in the meantime, in between time, you could definitely go ahead, Miss Grimes.
Okay. I didn't know if we were waiting for him to come back.
Oh no, you can still go. He'll come back.
No worries. Well, for one, again, thank you all for having me on. I'm super excited about the conversation. My name is Kit Grimes. I am the owner and operator of the Edible Incredible. I am also the chief strategy officer for Minorities for Medical Marijuana, which basically means in one lump sum, I am all about the plant medicine and how to get it to the people. We also do education, manufacturing, and advocacy. So not only do we educate on the plant, we help and teach how to manufacture different products, whether it be for your personal or how to get into the industry. And then in our advocacy space, we are big about our expungement clinics. We just had our Empacure conference, so we do a lot in the industry, even getting the bills that affect all of us, enacted with the proper language. So I'm super excited to come and share my knowledge with you, and thank y'all for having me.
That's
Oh, thank
dope.
you. Thank you for coming
Yeah.
through. Greatly appreciated. And I want everybody to get in tune with her. So please follow her on Instagram. Do you happen to have a YouTube as well?
I do, but I am actually revamping it, so I will get all of that information out to you guys. I just don't want y'all to go to a blank page. But
Makes sense.
definitely, yes, but definitely the cooking show will be revamped. It's called Blazed and Infused.
Ooh.
Basically, we go to different locations and different dispensaries, talk about what they have going on, and then we take their plant and we make different treats with them. We also do what we call like a restaurant mimic, where we'll go to a restaurant and create our version of their particular meal, but the infused version. So it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of education, but we definitely get involved.
That's
Oh,
what's up, yo. Oh my
that
goodness.
is dope.
It's very interesting. That's dope. That's dope.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
Jess, I know you got some exciting news. I am so proud of you. First of all, we gotta definitely celebrate Jess's wins, right? Her YouTube channel is getting a lot of attention right now. She's throwing out these shorts, and we're up to like thousands of views. We got like some shorts that's hitting hard. Like, just so proud of you for starting it and getting it going. You're on mute, Jess. You're on mute. There we go.
Thank you. I'm trying.
There we go. Now you're making it happen. You're making it happen.
We're doing it.
All right.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Absolutely.
All right. So before I get started, I did want to give we got to talk about it, y'all. We got to talk about it. It's gonna get repetitive. Teach Henley, my channel sponsor. Listen, fellas, wash your face. Wash your face. Get into a skincare routine. Stop washing your face with body soap. It makes no sense. And y'all keep wondering why y'all breaking out. Use some AM, PM moisturizer. Wash your face twice a day at least. Wake up in the morning, wash your face. Go to bed, wash your face. Click the link in my description and get 30% off your first order, 20% off for a lifetime after that. Teach Henley, y'all. All right. So let's start with the topic. Is everyone familiar with
I mean, you didn't even
Shawnee
introduce me. You
O'Neal?
didn't say hi to me.
Well, this is my wife,
get
y'all.
her.
But you've been
First
here
lady.
before. First lady,
First
there we
lady.
go. You know, so I mean, talk about what you're doing as far as growing our business.
We have a lot of things in the works, guys. So keep an eye out. We have Meet to Marry coming out really, really soon. So make sure that you hit me up. You can DM me if you want to be a potential candidate and meet your future. Okay. Your future forever at Dion MUA on Instagram, Dion Shaver on Facebook. And let me know if you're interested because Meet to Marry is coming to a screen near you. Get into it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And she's doing a lot of behind the scenes work. Honestly, I couldn't do this without her. So blessings, wife. I appreciate you. All right. So everyone's familiar with Shawnee O'Neal and what's going on with her situation, what she said about her ex-husband, Shaq.
Heard in the passing.
In passing. All right. So let's just play this. I'm going to play a little ET so that way y'all can kind of get an understanding of what's going on.
People want to know what's the ups and downs of being married to me. Go ahead, you can say it. I give you permission to go ahead and say it.
20 years later, Shawnee Henderson spilling details about her marriage to ex-husband Shaquille O'Neal, admitting she's not sure she ever truly loved the former NBA star during their 9-year marriage. The confession comes from Shawnee's new book, Undefeated, Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms, which released Tuesday. And now Shaq's responding to his ex-wife's eye-catching words, posting a short but sweet message to Instagram, seemingly reflecting on his past. I understand. I wouldn't have been in love with me either.
The ups, it's more ups, way more ups than downs. Oh, stop it.
And looks like Shaq's got no hard feelings after Shawnee's statement made its rounds on the internet, adding, wishing you all the best, all love.
All right. So let's talk about it. So let's go around the panel, ladies. How do y'all feel about the whole, I never really loved my husband, my ex-husband, who basically made my everything I got going on right now.
That shouts gold digger. Because if you're talking about you married a man, a whole man, and never loved him, like why else would you be with him? I don't know.
Right.
I'm going to say that.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings because I think one of the things that was going on, because I mean, granted, it's a memoir, right? So you're supposed to like be transparent and just let the cat out of the bag, get all the skeletons out the closet and be open. So I think maybe she's saying like, I loved him. However, I wasn't in love with him for a duration or a good duration of our marriage because maybe the things that he's done, because we know a lot of the reason why they did divorce was because of infidelity. I'm actually surprised they was married for 9 years because they have, I think, like 5 kids. I know one of them is hers outside of the marriage, like before they got married. But it's like you popping them out like Skittles in 9 years and then y'all break up. I don't understand. But apparently there was infidelity involved. So I think that's why he said what he said with the whole, well, I want to love me either, you know what I'm saying? Or been in love, if that was the direct quote. So it just wasn't. I feel like 20 years to get to a point to say that, especially now that she's, remarried. Granted, like, she kept her maiden name, not her maiden name, she kept her married name for up until that point of her remarriage. But I feel like, granted, she did start her franchise off the notoriety of being married to him, right? The whole Basketball Wives franchise, that started with the fact of her being a basketball wife and her relationships with other basketball wives. So I feel like I get the notoriety part where it's like, oh man, like what are you saying? But maybe she just had a point in her life where she just trying to be like, hey, this is my truth, guys. This is how I feel.
Yes.
Well, Kit, how do you feel about it?
Okay, so I'm definitely on the fence. Maybe because I look at it from a different perspective. A lot of relationships, I mean, we have people in other places that their marriage is arranged. Love is the aftermath of being with someone and learning them and actually appreciating them in that way. I think in our culture, it's we're the ones that's always like, oh, you didn't love him, like you didn't get married in love and infatuation and all these other things, versus making sure that you have a proper business partner. Because when you look at it, I mean, when the love ends, like you still have these things and dealings going on. You need to make sure that the partner that you're with is going to be able to sustain that. So even though she might not have been in love with him, that doesn't mean that she didn't love or have love for him. And I think we have a way of taking things out of context, especially when we're trying to bash and make one of us look bad. And it's real easy to get caught in that loop when it's, oh, well, she's just a gold digger and oh, she just wanted him for his money. But she had 5 kids with him. She could have took his money without popping out all these kids. I mean, and that's just my personal perspective. Like you don't got to. I mean, you ain't got to get cracked like some crab legs and have all these kids, just for the sake of gold digging. She was already married to the man. She was already gonna get money regardless whether she had the kids and stayed 20 years or not. There's chicks that's got 3 different industry baby daddies and they're set. So I think that it's more about how we look at it in the perspective, and making sure that we're not just ready to bash her because she's a Black woman who had, a different way of how she went about things. So that's my personal.
I think
Lady, one second. I don't want, because before we go down the rabbit hole, I believe that context is everything. From what I know, is just off of the interview. But looking at what Lady Fresh just posted here, she said, "Wow, that's not what she said." The report paraphrased. She said she wasn't sure she was ever in love with the man. She was in love with the idea of creating a life and a family with him. Big difference.
That's a business partner. Like that's what she's trying. Like she's trying to create like this legacy dynasty, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, some people chose bum. She chose Shaq. I mean, I don't know. Like,
so that's why I want to agree with you with the sense of that women are hypergamous. They tend to want to marry for the security and all that as well. So I understand if that's what she married for, if it wasn't necessary for love or just the idea of what she wanted, okay, fine. But then we also have to keep that in mind and not think that we're bashing a woman just because we're calling it for what it is.
I think it's about how it's portrayed too, right? So the way that it came out, it was like, oh, she just never loved the man, right? That's different than saying you can love someone and not be in love with them and still want all of these amazing things and have a life. Like there's people that be like, I love my husband or I love my wife, but if I had it to do over, I probably wouldn't. Not because we didn't have a great union or anything, but that I just wasn't in that space of love and infatuation with, my partner. I don't know. I feel like in 2024, we can't do anything. We can't breathe right. We can't, blink without, cause. We can't, and so when I think about it like that, I'm just like, okay, like.
I mean, she
I
said what
think
she said,
definitely,
just when she stand on
definitely
it.
right. And I think, especially being someone in the limelight, you're going to be bound for scrutiny. So I think the thing that kind of makes me cringe a bit is just the fact that, okay, you're saying your truth, you're saying your experience, you're expressing that. I think the part of it that makes me cringe is like the fact that, I think most of her kids are grown at this point. I think her youngest just went to college or is an entrepreneur. And I just feel like that, to me, I don't really think that's a good look to have put that in a book about your children's father. Only
Oh,
for the simple fact of like, okay, granted, you could say like you'll always have love for that person because at this point y'all family. Whether you like it or not, you sat down, you made these children, y'all always gonna be in each other's lives. So you can have love for the person. But to put it in the marital aspect of saying like the in love part, which I mean, that I feel like that can come and go. You know what I'm saying? You could feel the obligation, you could feel the duty and the fact of what marriage is or holds depending on the person, and then have love for that person, but the in love, the infatuation, all of that can like come and go in waves. So I don't know if that's what she meant. I don't know. I just felt like the fact that it was in there and her kids could see that, I'm just like, I don't like that.
But then you gotta also,
Especially on the heels of her getting remarried. I think that's the
you have
part
to
that kind of just
remember,
like, ugh.
not all people marry for love, to be honest. So
Oh
we got to
yeah.
kind of also keep it in perspective. So like, even with arranged marriages, some people tend to even um, you know, grow in love later on, but it's not initially a love-based marriage. It's more so like an arrangement and what, like a transaction kind of thing. So you got to kind of keep in mind, like, if that's how she looked at it, more so as in, okay, especially if she had a child outside, isn't that what was said?
I think
So
her
if she's
oldest,
probably
yeah.
looking at the security part of it all as well, like how many people can snag a basketball player that married them up and then gave her the lifestyle that she wanted. So now she is getting the perks of it all. And if she's happy with that, then she was happy with that, until she wasn't, because they're divorced now. But
But
until
should
she
she be
wasn't.
villainized for that though?
And that's where it comes in for me. Like, she can be who she was and she can have her opinion about what their life was, etc. But now, as soon as she has this opinion, we want to vilify the whole situation. And it's like, but why, when people have that same situation every single day and you don't see nobody? It's just the fact that she's in the limelight and she put it in her book. If it was something that she had just told one of her girlfriends or something in everyday, you know, society, it wouldn't even have this level of, okay, so you like some other chicks that fell out of love with their husband. Okay, well, whatever. It's like, oh, it's because of who he is. If he was just a
Mhm.
regular husband, regular man, and it happened, it wouldn't even have this level of detail. It wouldn't even have this level of scrutiny. Like, oh, she just wanted him for his money, and like, at some point granted, she didn't have his level of money, but what were you in love with? And you can go and ask so many extra questions when it comes down to it. Was she in love with the money? and then just had love for him? Was she, more harped on giving her kids a particular lifestyle, which made her stay? And because she actually did have love for him, it wasn't like it was this hard, relationship. Had he not been, had all of his several occasions of infidelity, they might still be together. Who knows?
That's
So
true.
I just I'm just I be trying to be easy on my women these days. We have enough troubles.
I think it is a little telling also for him of what he probably put her through for him to have that quote back, to have those expressions after pretty much saying like, yeah, I wouldn't have been in love with me either, back in that day. Basically, it sounded like to me he was like, yeah, I knew I was trash,
He was
and
confirming what she said.
yeah,
It wasn't because
so I ain't really mad at you.
right. He was confirming what she said. Like, you know, you have somebody like Shaq who basically can have anybody because women are going to throw themselves at his feet, whether they really are enamored with him or not, just because of the power and position that he holds. And you have that, and now you're having to deal with all of the things that come along with having that. And then now having a partner who may not subscribe to the marriage that you signed up for. So now you have this family and these kids, and now you have this husband, and now you have all of these eyeballs on you because of who you're married to. It's a lot to deal with. And then on top of that, having to deal with, the stories, oh, he was in this place with this woman, and oh, they were caught doing this. And then you still have to put on this face. It was just I personally feel like she's being villainized because she's a Black woman who spoke a truth that men don't like to hear. Like, how dare you not love us forever, and we do these things for you. I don't know. I'm just easy on us.
So I got a $5 super chat. I got a $5 super chat. My God, we got. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all don't even got to do all that. I'm moving slow tonight. My fault.
Yes.
Defeated asked, why no one asked the question that maybe he cheated because she didn't love him and he sensed it. Seems like that never crossed y'all mind.
It's a possibility.
That part.
It's a possibility.
I think that is very possible. I'm gonna put that there. That is very, very possible. But I also think, because I have watched the Basketball Wives franchise, I no longer subscribe. But when I did watch it, the consensus amongst the women, like the girlfriends, the ex-wives, the fiancés, were pretty much, you signed up for this life. You signed up to deal with the road and what comes with the road, the side chicks and all of these things. So it's almost like, deal with it or don't. But this is what you signed up for once you said you want to be with this man. So
right.
I
We got
feel like,
another 1 second, honey. We got another super chat. $2 super chat. He said, if she never loved him, she didn't deserve fidelity.
But that's not what she said, though.
They made the agreement of marriage.
Because she
if they
wasn't
made the agreement of marriage, there's an agreement of fidelity typically that come along with marriage.
That's what you're supposed to.
The problem with society and how they look at marriage is that they're constantly looking at marriage as far as what society says it should look like, versus creating the union that you all are going to be able to live and deal within, so that you all are happy. She never said that she didn't love the man. She said that she was never, like, she might not have been in love with him back at that time. Now, if he can say as much as that he probably wouldn't have been in love with him as well, why would he even ask that question, that she didn't deserve his fidelity, or even say that if she was never in love with him? Whatever the first super chat was, I'm sitting here thinking, like, right, he sensed it. Men will hump a hole in the wall and still go home to the wives that they love. But now all of a sudden he sensed it. Now he sent. Okay, well you tell Spider Shack the next time he need to sense how to hit a 3. Okay, like I don't.
You know, he couldn't do free throws for nothing. He couldn't.
Look, and they were
So
free.
my,
They were free.
Them layups
my,
though.
my perspective of it is this, right?
Foul line.
You have to understand that these two people are signed up for whatever they got, right?
Mhm.
Shaq knew that you're dealing with a woman that when you made it to the top of your game, the likelihood is to find a woman that's going to love you for who you are is almost slim to none. So I think he knew that, which is why he said it'll be hard loving me regardless. Because one, I know you're not gonna love me because you're probably really here for the money. And it's not saying she didn't love him at all. I don't know. But what we're saying is a lot of these basketball players and baseball players and football players get with these women when they're at the top of the game. And if they knew better, they would know that could you bag a Shawnee O'Neal if he wasn't a ball player? Was she literally scouting for a man like you? The other part to that too is, in return, right? She knew she was dealing with a ball player. They cheat. They cheat. Call it what it is. Everyone knows. If we look at the highest percentage, maybe there's 1 or 2 ball players out there that's not doing that.
Russell Wilson.
Maybe a Russell Wilson, right?
So
but the majority of them do. It's not giving them an excuse for doing what they do, but that's how it goes. That's the game.
You know what I think it is with that?
Oh, hold on, babe. Hold on.
Go
hold
ahead.
on. When you sign up for the game, you gotta understand that's how it goes. And I hate that people are so shocked and surprised that, oh my God, I'm messing with a woman and she's only with me for my money. Oh my God, I'm messing with a dude and he's only in it, you know, and she's only with me, or I'm messing with a chick I met and she's only with me for my money, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. They should understand what you're signing up for.
But a lot of these people, let's talk about it from when they actually have people when they're still in the trenches and they're still, building and growing, and they have people that love them and they have people that were down with them. And like Kanye said, they get rich, they go get a white bitch. And that's just exactly what happens. And it's
That's not what happens. That's not what happens. It doesn't happen at the scale that you think it does. Facts show that the majority of black men, wealthy black men, are married to black women.
No, I'm not even talking about, and that's what I was saying, and that's what I was getting to. I'm not even talking about just the white woman aspect. I'm just talking about what they consider a move up, a level up. When you had somebody that was there with you when your money wasn't of any consequence because you were still making it like I was. You have somebody in your corner, and then as soon as you go and you make the bread, now you go and find somebody in that next bread bracket and you leave them. Several artists, several ball players, several men have done it, whether the woman was black, white, Chinese, or pink with polka dots. It's happened several times over and over. So how is it that they've had these women who weren't thinking about their bread, who was actually with them when they were sitting there growing, doing something, and then when they got the damn bread, they said, adios, I need somebody else over here because you don't do it no more. So how is it? That's not that. That's malarkey.
So it does happen. That does happen. I'm not taking away from it. But then what about the guys that don't do that? So we could go, if we can't look at the numbers of it, then we could go with what's the only thing they talk about in the media where you would see it. But it doesn't mean that happens all the time. You have a lot of men like Denzel who started with their wives and grew with their wives, right? It happens, right? So, but then what gets talked about the most is the ones that cheat.
I think even when it comes to that is the understanding of those type of men, whether it's in the industry, entertainment industry, in athletics, on a major scale, is that they come with egos. They come with egos, and some of it that's even what gives, I think, the entitlement of you know what this is. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you gonna stay. Because a lot of them do stay. Who's to say? Only because we haven't heard the stories that it's possible that Denzel possibly, I love me some Denzel. I love me some Denzel.
So you
Possibly
love you, your
stepped out.
husband.
I love you.
Right.
I
There we go.
do.
That's it.
I do.
Wind it back, wind it back.
So Denzel, right? We don't know if he stepped out on Sister Paula. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, I'm gonna stick by you because you was being dumb and you got your mind twisted in the game.
Why would
Or
that be
even
the first
Samuel
thing that you
Jackson.
think? Why
But
would
what,
that be the first thing that you think when it comes to a man?
honestly, I don't feel like it's a far fetched thing to think.
But
Even with
if you
Samuel
don't know it, then
Jackson,
why would you? If you don't know it, why would you even assume it?
I'm giving an example of a possibility because of the actuality that you just said when it deals with ball players, people that have status, men that have status. It's like there is a sense of entitlement because of the ego, because of the status. So it's like what you getting once you get with me. Because
And high
I'm here.
accessibility.
I'm at the top of my game. Like you said, I'm at the top of my game. And if you trying to get on this ride, you gotta know what comes with it. So I may
All
not
right.
come home at 9 o'clock. I may stroll in at 4 in the morning. And you just
One
gonna have to,
second. Honey. I got another super chat. We got
all
another
right.
question. My
All
God,
right.
truth and reality undefeated. He says, if she was never in love with him, then she didn't deserve fidelity. So y'all think we can't sense when y'all not that into us? Yo, y'all got quiet on that one.
Why get married to her
Listening.
then? That's the question of the night. Why get married to her then? If he felt that in the dating and he had some discernment about it, why get married to her? Why give her kids? Why give her all this leverage to be able to turn around and get half of what you made? And then on top of that, she was able to build her own separate entity, empire based on the notoriety of being close to him. He ain't had to do that. So I guess that spiritual discernment wasn't working. I guess it was off when he said, I do.
Yeah, first. Oh, okay.
So, all right.
I will say, so I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm not making all men cheaters. That's not how I look at it. But I do look at that when there's a high accessibility rate where there's a lot more, and I'm talking about even for women too. When you get into like the entertainment industry and all that, there's a lot of options around you, people throwing themselves at you and all that other stuff. So there's some people who may be full of ego and they may fall. So I'm not trying to say that all men are.
I'm not saying all men are, but I don't agree with that point, only because I don't think it's a fair playing field when it comes to women versus men. Men that have status and accessibility to finances are not on the same playing field as it relates to women. Women will still sit down and like, look at Jennifer Lopez deal with a backup dancer. Look at Britney Spears deal with a backup dancer. Look at Mariah Carey deal with a backup singer. They'll do that. And they have all the millions and all the status and notoriety in the world, but they'll still deal with a man like that or men like that. On the flip side, you'll see men that have status and they're dealing with a supermodel. They're dealing with the Victoria's Secret's angel. They're dealing with another actress or another singer, somebody that is on their level or like at least in the same rooms as them. So I don't really think that's the same when it comes to those type of people with that type of access.
Yeah. Hold on. We have somebody jumping in now. A Cloud. I don't know who that is.
What's up, Cloud?
What's up, Cloud? So, listen, I got to play devil's advocate here, right? I mean, like I said, I do understand that what it comes with. Like I've hung around people that made a lot of money, and they were with their wives, as you said, and as they came up, they started cheating. Right? I've definitely seen that. You know what I'm saying? And then their wives tend to be more forgiving, tend to not put them in the spotlight. So yeah, there's things they don't know. But then there's some men that I do know as well that were like, yo, I'd never cheated on my wife. Never cheated on their wife. They love their wives and they felt and feel as if their wives were a valuable part in the growth of their success. So they stuck by their wives and they don't leave their wives. Then there's those men that's like, yo, as I come up, I don't need you anymore. Maybe there was something deeper in it or maybe he just wasn't really in love with her. So there's a lot of scenarios to break that down in. So I definitely am with the panel on this. I love the conversation. So chat got some questions. The chat got some questions, right? So Sarah. Sarah, what up, Sarah?
Oh, hey, Sarah.
That's my Sarah Bully. Sarah Bully.
So he loved her, but he continuously cheated, right? Yeah, I mean, listen.
Indeed.
I don't think so. What I say with men, right? A man could truly be in love with you, right? And cheat. Because we really don't look at sex the way y'all do. When a man
you don't think
truly
it's being loving the person but not being in love?
I could agree with that. That. But we can't take away from the fact that that's how men are. Like to belittle that is to say, well, you shouldn't be like that because how y'all was indoctrinated. But like we said before, us being monogamous is not a old thing. It's fairly new in human society. So to understand that is to understand that, okay, since we had to learn to be this way, we learned to love y'all. We read the Bibles. We grew up in a way of love and find your wife. And so this is how we became indoctrinated to be. But yeah, I do understand that a man can cheat and still say, I love my wife and I'll die for my wife. But this was just sex. Happens all the time. It happens all the time. What's your perspective on that?
People need to learn how to. We have a really bad way of conflating definitions to make them work for how we feel about something. Fidelity and loyalty are not the same thing. And people have a really bad way of making them one. Oh, if you cheat on me, if you cheated on me, no. Men will go and poke something clear at the club in the bathroom and let it be known that they're gonna reach around, wrench it off, and go home to their loving wife and family because they have no intentions of leaving. They had no intentions of leaving when they did what they did. They're loyal to their families. They're just not faithful to the women that they're with. But clearly they didn't sign the right contract, because then they should have worked these kinks out when they got married. Hey, I might want to go, play two at the pokey. Like, is that okay? Like, how are we working this out? But whew,
girl, that was last week. We talked a little bit about that last week, girl. Talk about being real with that.
Like people don't like to be real, and I'm sorry, I don't argue with the penis people. I'm not doing it, like, because that's just not what I'm doing ever. So if we can't have an actual conversation that ends in some kind of honest agreement, situation, circumstance, then there are 8 billion of you. I am not arguing with the one of you. So yeah, that just doesn't make logical sense. Like
what hold on, let me read this super chat real quick. He's Truth and Reality Undefeated. Yo, my man, thank you. You are officially the channel sponsor. Listen, hit the super chat, y'all. Hit the super chat. Hit the like button. You come in the building, show some love. All right. So my man says, men don't show love through fidelity, women do. He says, we show love through protection and provision.
Huh.
All right. So,
Black women are real protected these days. No worries. What do I know?
no, so
Man, listen.
but
I'm real protected these days. What do I know?
no, like I said, I mean, listen, I don't know your experience. I can say I protect my wife, right? So I
I'm
protect
talking
my
about for the
wife.
most. You probably protect your wife, and there's a lot of good men that probably do the same thing. But there are a
And-
lot of ashy McAshins out here that are being real ashy in life, and they not doing that. There's nobody opening doors and showing chivalry no more. They
Why?
want. They want to be. They live in a soft girl era right now. They want. Where's my 50%?
They say I'm the prize.
Drizzle.
Drizzle.
Why you not walking?
But why do you? But why did that change though? So let's talk
That's
about that. Let's dig a little deeper into that. Why did that change? Do you? It's a legit question.
I was like, I'm waiting for the answer. Like what?
No. I'm asking you. Go ahead. Jess.
I would say I definitely know, because, and the thing is, we don't look at what we started. Women kind of said we could do it by ourselves. I don't need a man. La la la. You know the what they usually said at some point.
Girl power.
So that feminist movement kind of changed the game, and then we are kind of stuck with the repercussions of it all, and we don't like it. Just being real.
But let's have this argument, right? Because we wouldn't have had to stand up and do the things that men claim that they wanted to lead and do if they were leading and doing it. So should I allow things to just falter and fall to the wayside in hopes that you're going to stand up and take back charge and do what you're supposed to? Or that always kills me. Like, men always want to lead. They can't lead themselves out of a brown bag, let alone lead me to some actual physical, like some life. And the reason why I say that is, so y'all sit here and say, oh, well, like kind of like old boy who just said, oh, we don't protect random women, we protect our women. You know what I'm saying? At one point, y'all had a level of pride in how you all actually took care of your families, how you all, did things. And now, because we wanted to actually just build and do something outside of relying on a man to do it, it's like, oh, well, since you want to do that now, it's almost like a punishment. Oh, well, since you want to, be able to have a job, and now where's my half now? It's just like, to me, I've just never seen a group of people who want to do the thing, but then don't do the thing. And then when we do the thing, punish us for doing the thing. Like that.
Let's.
I understand your grievance with that.
Let me offer I had like a feedback, like not a feedback, but like a. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. I hear it too.
You hear it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about that real quick, right? I get everything you said, and everything you said is what women have been saying for plenty of years, from Oprah to all those talk shows where they basically bashed men for the past 30 years. It's only but the past 3 years where men are actually having a voice to actually say how we really feel about things since YouTube became a thing, right? For us, Black men. But to say that Black men wasn't there for you and we don't protect the community as a whole. Most of us, right, are raised by single mothers. Now, we could say the chicken or the egg argument, that maybe the woman picked a bad man, or maybe the man that she picked was bad, whatever it is. It is 100% up to the woman to protect her womb from the man that she chooses to procreate. Because when you make a man, you duplicate him and everything that he's about. So if you know that that's how it begins, the end of it is today. Those men are 40, 50 years old today that y'all are complaining about. So if the mothers of the past didn't pick a good man to be the leader of her family, now here goes these soft life men, right? That women are like, yo, men aren't the same anymore. How are you going to complain about that? And the other thing too is to say that we don't protect women. Yeah, we do protect our wives. We protect the women in our circle, not just our wives, right? And every community does that. But here's the thing. Whenever I see, you from New York too. I've seen literally dudes pop off on dudes for messing with a woman in a corner store. I've seen, and just recently, last year, a man got murdered. Sorry, YouTube.
Red Round.
A man got
Unalived.
red rum, unalived, in a Walmart in front of his wife protecting a woman he didn't know. This happens more often than you know, but it doesn't get heard of because it's a black man that died. Who cares?
But it's all a reaction of stuff too. If you just to add to what you're saying, Mingo, is all a reaction of stuff too. Because then even if you think about all those times that we've heard stories of like a couple having a domestic issue, and there'll be like a man that come and like kind of hover in, and the woman is getting at the man that hovers in rather than, you know, with this man that's trying to kind of alleviate the situation, and then the girl turns around and kind of goes at the man that came into the whole situation. I've heard of that situation many times. So you expect, like, look at how it, at some point, some men are like getting hurt for doing these gestures. They're getting unalive. They're getting, you know, really messed up. And all we can turn around and be sometimes is ungrateful. Being honest, because I'm looking at a majority. Now, I'm not looking at the woman exactly on this panel, but I'm talking about what we hear around us from some women.
So what I'll say is, I personally can't attest to that per se, of being unprotected in my singlehood. However, what I will say is the part with the super chat question that had me still perplexed or clutching my pearls to a little bit is the differentiation of fidelity and provision and protection. Because y'all had y'all men's panel this past Sunday. Was really good. Y'all should check it out when y'all get a chance or whatever. And there is a difference, yes, with men and women on how our love languages are spoken. So yes, men need respect, women need love, but with our love comes respect, and with men's respect comes love. That's what I got from the men's edition, right? So let's put a period there, and then put a semi. In fact, not period. Let's put a semicolon. Okay. So the semicolon says, me as a woman, you are requesting and requiring of me to be respectful of you in my love. That also shows for me to be faithful to you. Right? You don't want to be looking crazy out here in these streets, right? You don't want somebody else to say, hey, you know, yeah, he talking about that's his wife or that's his girl, but you know, I knocked her down the other week and her name is in the streets. The same, I feel, can be said for a woman. No woman wants to sit down and be looked crazy because her dude is out in the streets and he's not respecting her or their home or their family because he wants to gallivant. So I feel like that respect thing, that love thing, that fidelity thing is a requirement on both sides. It's just how it's portrayed, how it's shown, how it's expressed. So it's like, I would never and won't accept GMT sitting here, well, you know, I provide and protect you, so
let me do what I want to do.
That's my love. What? Because I love and respect you, but you ain't gonna expect somebody outside to be talking about, yeah, I hear you already know. You see Shorty, she look happy with her dude, but no. no, we're not doing that. We're not playing them games. Don't do it. No. So it's like I feel like it has to go both ways with that. So no, protection and provision is not enough. That's not love. That's to me is what your duty is as a husband. If you want to say you're this type of husband, if you're a traditional husband or whatever, that's your duty. You're supposed to provide and protect. Your fidelity is something that is a requirement based on the vows that you took when you sat down in the church or the courthouse or wherever. That's my take on it.
Sprinkling some discipline.
I agree with you too.
Sorry,
Listen.
wait.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sorry, kid.
No, I'm sorry, because this truth and reality dude is like killing
That
my
last
whole-
one, right?
like,
So
I'm over here.
Stay out the comments.
I'm trying to keep my cocorization, properly moisturized and well adjusted over here, and I'm just like,
Stay moisturized, stay hydrated, boo. Get the water, get the water, get the water.
He got me cracking my neck and whatnot. I was like, wait, what? But I said, you know what? The Lord didn't. As a matter of fact, let me go back to there we go.
Which one are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? All right. You're probably talking about.
I want to read it. Let me see.
Isn't disrespectful. How is that not disrespectful?
Sleep with other women. Well, actually, it's sleeping with other women. If we're gonna do this, let's.
Isn't disrespectful?
But sleep. I'm here for grammatical, corrections.
How is that not disrespectful?
And it's
this ain't real life.
It's okay.
I'm gonna give the towards the end of the show. I am gonna give the chat an opportunity to come up and ask one question to the panel. So you'll have an opportunity. Truth and Reality Undefeated, my guy, the channel sponsor, to come up and ask the women a question. So we have Charlotte joining the panel.
Hey, Charlotte. Hey, girl.
I don't know if y'all can. She looks like she's still connecting.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's still muted. So while she does that, I'll wait. I'll put her in the back room until she gets that gets on. But listen, me personally, I feel like it's disrespectful when you don't talk to your wife, right? When you don't tell your wife from the beginning, this is what I want. This is what I need from you. Or this is what I would want out of other women. And if your wife says, no, I'm not with it, first, she shouldn't even marry you. Y'all shouldn't even be together, because you could back up a little bit, ma'am.
I'm listening real hard.
Because it's all about communication, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, it's about communicating with the person that you're with. So if I'm gonna do, even if like later on in life that I'm like, yo, you know what, I'm having this urge to be with other women, I think you need to communicate that. And
we talked about that last week.
You're gonna probably lose everything. The likelihood is, fellas, if you do that, you're gonna lose your wife, your house, your kids, your car, all that, everything. The courts are gonna take it.
Every decision comes with repercussions.
You gotta understand.
But it's a question. We can't say the question is gonna cost all that. The decision of doing it without the conversation, I feel, will cost all of that.
Yeah, without the communication. I'm sorry, that's what you said.
Yeah. Making a decision without the communication is going to cost all of that.
Whether the communication,
but the question itself, I don't think is going to cost that. You remember, like in school, how like the teacher would say, "Oh, there's no stupid questions." You know what I'm saying? Because basically, it's like if you didn't ask the question, we can't give you an answer type situation. I feel like it's the same thing. You're not going to get in trouble for the question. You're going to get in trouble for making a decision without communicating that question. You're just outside playing a fool.
You're gonna get in trouble even if the communication was had and it was said no, and you still do it, you still screwed. So that it's too. Like,
listen,
but we had a good conversation about that last week because we didn't know. You don't know if you don't ask. So you got to ask. You don't ask.
We got Charlotte in the building. What up, Charlotte?
What up, my brothers, my sisters? How are you?
What's goody? Yo, we having a good conversation.
Nothing
Mhm.
I don't,
party
I don't
name.
know if you.
Okay,
Coming
yeah.
up.
I don't know. You caught bits and pieces of it.
No.
Oh, maybe you might want to strap up real quick. But but
Buckle up.
you know, like I said, I definitely am in agreement with communication. It's all about that, and that's the problem. Is that we're getting into these relationships, not understanding how to communicate, not being. And when we say the best version of yourself, the best version of yourself is that too. It's communicating with. Is learning how to communicate with other people. Learning how to make
Facts.
money as a man, build yourself up as a man, communicate with other men and women alike. Those are all parts of becoming the best version of yourself. And when you can't do that, you have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do. Like right now, I know I could go to my wife and I could, tell her almost anything, right? And do I feel as if I had that urge, and I'm just being transparent, if I had that urge and I came to her, like she said, she wouldn't necessarily divorce me because I brought the, situation to her, like this is what I want with other women. It'll be, a conversation. She's gonna have to dig through her feelings. I'm gonna have to dig through how she feels. And we gotta work on if it's a no, it's a no.
It's a no.
I know it's a no. So so
Don't do it.
but but it's about it's about the communication, and I get it. I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, truth and reality. Prepare yourself, my man. Get
Buckle
your
up.
get your background ready. Get your camera on. I'm gonna bring you in soon,
Well, you don't
my
gotta have the
guy.
camera
Hold
on,
up,
if they want to be,
we my man wants
incognito.
his camera on. Listen, he is a content creator, so he wants
Oh,
his content. He wants his
okay,
camera on.
okay,
So, anyways,
okay.
we got another super chat from Truth and Reality Undefeated. He said, "Women don't care about fidelity as much as they say. If they did, they wouldn't date less desirable men. They want the man, but want him to only be her man."
Yeah. The last sentence has to do with fidelity. I want my man to be my man, not her man is his man and my man. No, it cannot be community peen. No, gotta be mine. That's it.
I'm sorry. I can't do nothing but laugh. That's it.
Just saying. We're not doing that. We're not doing it.
Listen. This is dope. I'm having fun with this conversation
Oh,
because
Lord.
we're able to challenge each other's thoughts. I love the comment section, regardless of however you guys might look at it. Like, what's
I'm
going
okay
on?
with it. I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all the shenanigans.
Right. It sparks the conversation. So, anyway, Charlotte, how do you feel about what you've kind of heard so far? Basically, actually,
You guys are
babe,
breaking up.
you mind
go
filling
on
that
my
in?
computer.
Oh, you're going on your computer? Okay. You could drop in and come back when you
Yeah,
can.
because I think it's breaking up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right. So,
Are we ready for the cap of the week?
Why
we're almost ready for the cap of the week, but go ahead. Any final thoughts on this conversation, on this specific topic, y'all?
I said how I feel. I said it.
I see what I see, right?
I did. Standing on business.
I'm just being easy on my ladies these days. We got enough shit going on without having to dig
I'm
and dig.
okay with easy per se, but just I'm pro accountability.
Pro accountability, but a lot of the times they go beyond it. Like, like some of our
I
friends
get
in the
it.
chat there,
Maybe attack mode.
like, and like kind of like, some of our people in the chat, like, just attack. Oh, well, a little spicy.
You felt
Not the assuming, not the
hold on,
chance.
so
Right.
you felt attacked by his questions?
I don't feel personally attacked because I don't know him. I don't care. I
Good for the
personally feel like
topic.
I feel like he digs and jabs and attacks women in a way that is unnecessary. But I also, this is my first interaction. This is just kind of what I'm getting based on everything he's saying. It gives angry, Kevin Samuels before he died fucking the other. Excuse me.
Oh no. Oh,
Okay, sorry
that's
YouTube.
wrong.
But
Sorry, YouTube.
sorry YouTube. My bad. But that's just kind of what it gives me. But anywho, that's all I
I,
have to say. I said what I said.
I just
So
say there's like
so
some undertones that because
Right.
if
so
he's saying
here's the
oh
thing.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Mhm.
No, I'll let you say that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Say
I
what
was
you
just saying because if he's saying why women always pick cheaters, then you're assuming that us as women who are on this panel now telling you that we want one man and one man only, for the most part, from what you're hearing, then you're assuming that that's what we're going for. That's that undertone there, unsaid but yet said. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but to me, I what I'm saying is I do understand him, and the reason why I can say I understand him is because okay, he's not saying that all women pick cheaters. It's never all, right? You can't talk in generalities like that, but you do have to look at the men that the women are having kids with, and you have to factor that in. So if women are complaining a lot about the men that they're having and bringing children in the world with, you can't say that they're looking for or vetting or taking the time to sift out the right man because there's really these men are offering them no commitment, yet they're giving them a whole baby. So
Well,
I do understand what he's saying.
I do have a question with that because I feel like then that goes into basically not giving anyone, both sides, grace. Because I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna say everybody. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's experiences are different. But to sit down and say like, oh, if you meet a man and maybe he has cheated before, whether it was in just a dating space, marital space, etc., and he gets into another relationship, or for on a woman's side, same thing. She may have cheated in a dating space or a marital space. Now she's in a new relationship. Should those persons be held to the standard? Well, you cheated, so all I can expect from you is cheating. Where's the grace? Where's the empathy? Where's the understanding? Where's the growth of saying, okay, well, that was you then. Who are you now? And now choosing that person that you are now instead of taking what happened before and throwing it in your face and saying, well, you're a cheater. And that person saying, well, I'm a cheater. I cheated. So you can't
It's
be
not. It's not.
mad.
It's not
Like, I
about.
don't
It's not
understand
about.
that.
It's not about the cheating part, right? It's not about none of that. It's the commitment part. It's that man giving you commitment before you give him a family, before you duplicate him. And this is where our community is lacking hard body. 56% of black men are single in the middle class. They're doing pretty good. It's not a whole bunch of black men that's just out here trash. Are they choosing our women as a whole? I can't say. I would say that the numbers say that black men marry black women the most. 100%. The majority of black people that are married to their own race. But to say that, you know, black men aren't getting tired of certain things when it comes to our women. I'm not in the dating world. I've been out of the dating world for 14 years. I don't know. But I could say that I talk to a lot of men. So I don't discredit what they say when they say, yo, we have a problem. And the men that are marriageable or want to be married feel like there's a problem.
But here's the thing, and I just want to ask this question, right? So it's always said that men choose their women, men choose their companion, men are supposed to choose the wives. Women, you all don't be masculine out here picking and choosing men. So then when we are chosen and we're doing our vet process, but they're lying and we don't know that they're lying because they're doing the whole facade thing and basically using what they got to get what they want, if you will. But then all of a sudden, it's, oh, well, you should have chosen better. Why did you choose him? Why is it never he should be a better man? Why is it always I should have chosen better in regard? To me, that always throws me for a loop, like always.
So to answer that question, right? The reason why men would say that is because, if we do, I'm sorry, I'm a numbers guy, right? And if we do look at the numbers, when you have to look at it like the percentage of women that's having children out of wedlock, it's very high in our community. So when we say we should have chose better, meaning you should have married before you carried, right? Usually it's a single mom argument, right? It's not just the argument of dating and, oh, he cheated on you, right? It's usually you ended up a single mom, you should have chose better. So most of these men are not giving commitment to a lot of women. So if you don't have the commitment,
if we go back to the conversation at hand, the man that gave commitment or was supposed to give commitment to the wife that he had, that she had 5 of his rugrats, and he was still cheating. So she had the commitment, and Bebe's kids running around the house while he.
But we talked about the ball player. So we talked about the NBA player already, though. We know that probably is going to happen.
I don't know. It just feels like anytime I have these conversations or I hear them, it's always, well, the women should have more accountability, but men never have any. And it's like, oh, well, we do, but
we always have accountability, though. Men have been held their feet to the fire for years. You literally only heard the past 3. You could turn on I could literally pull up shows, right? I do reactions on them. Shows right now from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s of women holding men accountable. This is talk shows after I'm 42. I've been watching these shows and it made me feel insignificant as a man growing up. Like, man, black men really ain't nothing. Black men really, so it makes you as a black man feel like you ain't nothing. And it holds you to feel like, yo, I need to do better because of what these women are saying on these panels. It's only since 3 years now. YouTube, since Kevin Samuels, the one that you just talked about, came up with the average at best, that now started the mainstream conversation where men are like, I'm holding women accountable now. But we've been held accountable for years. Men, pull your pants up. Don't go outside looking like that. Brush your teeth. Wash your hair. Men have always, don't cheat on your women. Women are queens. Black women are gods.
Girls,
we've been hearing that forever.
Don't wear no short skirts. Don't be hanging out with the boys. Make sure that we had the same thing. I don't know.
So to say that men aren't ever held accountable, that's what I'm saying. No one's saying that you aren't held accountable. But I'm
talking about in these particular instances when it's like
men have always heard, don't cheat on your wife. Men are dogs. I don't want no scrub. We've been hearing this forever.
You cheat and y'all do be scrubby. Like, I don't understand. Like,
y'all cheat too, and women cheat at a higher rate than men. That's an actual stat.
Is it women or black women? Women in general or black women?
Women in general. I'm not thinking now just to black women. Women in general. Women in general cheat more than men.
I would like to hear the statistic on black women.
Okay. So as far as black women, I don't know. I don't know if they just surveyed a specific race. Someone in the chat, if y'all have those stats, let me know. But women in general cheat more than men. But men are not sitting here like, oh, all women are dogs. There's a sector of the internet that does that, right? There is a sector of the internet. I'm not taking away from that. Just like there's an extreme sector of women that say wild and crazy things about deleting black boys. I don't know if you heard about that. If you have a black boy, delete it. Do not keep that child. And that one person has millions of followers.
Wait, which
millions of women followers.
She's been taken off the platform.
Okay, we can't say the word. Yeah, delete all black boys, meaning that if you're birthing a son, delete it. Because black boys ain't no good. And they're not going to be good from birth.
That's
it's a
evil.
thing. Like I said, there's always 2 extremes. There's an extreme on the men's side. There's an extreme on the women's side. I'm here to try to put us together, though. right? So I'm here to say, black woman, come down to earth. Black men, come down to earth and let's meet.
Maybe
So
we should
that's
do
really.
a speed date.
Say that again.
Maybe put together a speed dating event.
Somebody mentioned that to me the other day too. But my Meet to Marry show is going to be a dating show that's going to put some black people together. Praying to
That's
God
gonna
that
be
works out. But yeah. So with that being said, man, when I shut off my live stream, it did knock off all of my presentations for this. So right now, I'm going to jump in to the next topic. And I know you've all heard about that teacher with the little girls. And I got kids' perspective on it the other day when we first met, but I want to dig a little deeper into it. So here we go.
Teacher who went viral for letting his students take out his braids was fired from his job. His students began texting him after he never showed up to his classes, which made him emotional.
Hey, Bessie. I really hope that you see this message. How are you? I hope that you're okay. Our class misses you so much, and we really want you to know that we love you and we miss you so much and can't wait for you to come back. I can't believe that taking somebody's hair out is such a big deal, and it makes me so mad that people make little things big things. I want you to know that the class and others got your back, and we will always stand behind you and up for you no matter what happens. We got you. Again, we miss you and we love you so much, and can't wait for you to come back.
All right. So I'm gonna unmute Charlotte. So, all right, hold on. I got a super chat, y'all. I got a super chat. My man Leon B1, I'm so chill says,
What up,
what's good,
Chill?
GMT? And ladies, I'm here listening, getting my workout on. It's leg day. Nah, but he said, but nah, we need Miss Kit on Sunday. Miss Kit, you getting called for our Sunday panel. He
What?
said, need to talk to her. LOL.
Oh,
Great.
Lord.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can kick it with my compadres and fellas.
Yo, you are invited to the Sunday panel officially.
Well, thank you,
Officially.
Leon. I appreciate it.
Right.
I look forward.
Wow.
Kirsten, what's up, Kirsten? What's up, Kirsten? So, all right, let's get into the topic, y'all. How do y'all feel about this teacher?
It's mixed emotions for me. Honestly speaking, I don't think that he should be letting little girls take his hair out. Not in school. Like if you on a block, all right. But in school, it's too intimate, and then like it's too many lines that could possibly be crossed. And why do they even have his cell phone number?
So what's the mixed part about it, though, Charlotte? For you?
Like I just said, like him being on a block. Like if it was a situation with him on a block and the kids outside taking his hair out, okay. But you're in a professional setting. So because you're in that professional setting, you have to move in a certain manner. Like that's just like in college. The professor cannot fraternize with the students and stuff. Like there's just certain standards that you cannot cross. Now, had it be y'all on the block, y'all chilling, everybody knows like they look up to you as a dad on the block and whatever, or a big brother or uncle. All right. But in a professional setting, like you're supposed to be teaching these children structure, education, prepare them for school. Now, had it been like a cosmetology school, it would be different, but that's not the setting. So that was my mixing, but I don't think he should have got fired for it. They should have utilized that as a teaching moment to say, hey, we understand that you're passionate, but You can't do that in the school, especially if this is not a cosmetology school. Yeah, boundaries.
All right. Right.
For me, I'm real no across the board. For me, I mean, granted, I don't have a daughter, but I'm somebody's daughter, and I know my parents would not let it go down, period. It don't matter who's block, who's front porch, who's anything. I mean, none of my brothers grew their hair out like that, but if it's not a full-on family member, that's not going down. I'm not touching nobody, and if I had a daughter, she ain't touching nobody. So I understand the camaraderie aspect from a cultural standpoint, but for me, it's like no across the board. Not for the teacher, not for nobody who's not your family. It's not going down. So I feel like because of the fact that we've lived in a culture for so long where things have gone unheard of until 10, 15 years down the
Oh,
line.
Charlotte,
Ooh,
Charlotte.
ooh.
Yeah, that
10,
was a lot of
15
noise.
years down the line where now you're hearing, oh, well, this teacher did this, or this, staff member did that, where people are now coming forward. I feel like any gray area would give more plausible reasoning for someone to say, oh, well, it's not that bad, it's not harmful. No, to me, he should have been fired, because who's to say, one of these girls, these are impressionable girls, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they were in high school or middle school, but nevertheless, these are still young girls who could sit down and have a crush on him. And being in his space like that could have been a thing for them. And them not understanding the boundaries, because he didn't really to me, in that instance, he didn't create healthy ones, could have almost put them in a position where, okay, well, if I'm taking out his hair, maybe I could do this, or maybe I can call his phones, like the cell phone thing, like you just asked a moment ago. Those type of things, it could really be, there's too many gray areas, and I feel like the school handled it appropriate, based on the fact that it was inappropriate for any female students to be touching him or being in his personal space to that magnitude. So to me, it fit.
Not to mention even the whole fact that he's putting people's kids on a platform. They have media consent forms for that. Like, there's a reason why they signed media consent forms.
Yes,
they did. Okay, well, I did not know that. But the whole point is still that it's children exploited. Like, they had certain platforms that even blurred out the children's faces and stuff like that, because there's a way of children being exploited with you. Just I guess that's a way of engagement for him, but I just think it's kind of odd. But on the fact of what Dion said was, you don't know which teacher is grooming or not. You don't know. Now, yes, he may have said he had all good intentions. We don't know that for a fact. So just, and grooming can happen in front of one kid or around a group of kids. There's many things. If you've seen on TikTok, there was this competition where these kids were standing around, and this guy just bites this boy on the ear or something like that in front of a whole group of people, and someone caught it on camera. He looked up and he saw that the camera was looking straight up at him, and he just kind of smiled like, oh snap, caught. People are bold enough to, and then go under the guise of, we want to make it look normal, it's not a thing, cool, let me get close or whatever like that. Now, I'm not saying that he's like that. I'm not saying at all that he's like that. But the whole point of, there are some people that are, and you have to, especially children who are not well trained with, even some adults can't even see past grooming. So now there's these children that's hanging around and in this man's head and in his space, and that's a little bit more intimate. I'm not saying it's on a sexual thing. I'm just saying intimate. It's intimate. People on your body space. Even in school, there's some kids that know about the no areas. I work in a school with children. So there's certain things that you just like. You don't have grown men sitting girls on their laps, or there's a lot of situations where there's teachers, both men and women, who are grooming these kids and passing boundaries. So you can't just go off like that, just be like, oh yeah, blase, this is okay, especially in a professional setting. It's a professional setting.
Right. That should not happen in the professional setting. Now, me growing up and definitely like getting paid to braid my friends' hair, whether it was men or women, it wouldn't happen in school. Like, I don't think that should have happened in school. Like, I don't think so. But if it was like I said,
sorry.
Like I said, if it was like outside on the block and hey, can you mind taking out my hair? Or I'll pay you, or this is that and the third, or because right now there's a bunch of schools that have cosmetology. Now, if that was one of the schools that had cosmetology, I get it, but it's not. And what he said, he was like, he also said that he was like little girls, they like to do hair, so that's why I allow them to do it. But it's like, these are not your little girls, right? These are not your little cousins and stuff. Like, you're in a professional setting, so you can't do that.
So I do have a question with one of the
babe, hold on 1 second, because Kit didn't give her perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was fine. I have to play devil's advocate on this, and the only reason that is I feel like we say that we need more black men, role models, right? We say we need more black men in the schools, and we need more black men doing XYZ and being around and actually engaging with the younger people. And I mean, we need more black therapists, black men therapists, for these young black men who actually need it to be able to talk to someone that they can relate to in that way. With all of these different things, a lot of these kids, and I'm not saying I don't know who had fathers who don't or whatever, just to have a positive male role model that's actually engaging with you and treating you like a person, and not a person of interest, but just a person where you can have a cool teacher. I personally feel like, so I feel like they made it more than it should have been for the situation. It's one thing if it was in a private setting. It's one thing if it was, I mean, and again, the amount of kids don't matter, because I literally saw a documentary where this grown man stole this little girl from, but she was younger. But he had groomed her for years
I know what you're
before.
talking about.
You understand what I'm saying? He groomed her for years before he actually was able to kidnap her, so much so to the point that he told the parents that the only way he would bring her back is if he allowed them to get married. You understand what I'm saying? And that was years and years of grooming. That was, and this man, he not only groomed the kid, he groomed the mom, he groomed the dad, he was grooming the wife had been groomed before they had. It was a whole situation. So when I look at things like that, I'm like, okay, the only issue I would have had to, have an issue with it is when they said something about, he made a video that said like something about, when she says she only has a crush on emo boys, and it was a video of him like dressed like emo or whatever like that. Now, had I not had that information, right, I would have said, I think we've taken something to a grave place and romanticized something that was probably innocent on TikTok in front of millions or thousands or whoever actually has access to, his program and his channel, whatever the case is. After seeing that, now I have to ask, okay, so is this factual information? Is this true? You know, when I was in elementary school, my math teacher, I loved her to death, Miss Cone. I don't know if you're still alive, but girl, you was lit. She had this long, I mean, it was like silver black hair, and anytime we had recess, we would be outside and we are in this lady's hair. You know what I'm saying? Now homosexuality is a thing. So it can easily be said, like kind of like what the person said, is it, you know, with women teachers, is it the same thing? Women teachers are groomers too. I know several young men who was banging their teacher. You know what I'm saying? And especially when you have teachers that are younger and closer in age, which is probably, you know, their situation. Not saying that he's out here trying to do that with them, but when you got a 24-year-old teacher and you like 16, 17, and you're like, oh, you could take my braids out, you know, even though you might have that respect as teacher student, you know, you all are close enough in age where it's like, oh, okay, yo, sure, take my braids out, like I'm gonna put it on TikTok, y'all sign the waivers and all that. You know, I just feel like with all of those things done, I feel like it was taken more out of context. Now, you know, whether it should have been done, we have to start using better discernment. And it's bad. I just feel bad for Black men in that regard, that they can't even, you know, just have a moment where they are embracing young girls, and not in a way that's sexualized and not in a way that's predatory, but in a way that's role model and actually engaging and making it, and not necessarily trying to be the cool teacher, but just one that has better understanding because they're closer in age.
Right. And so we got another super chat, $2 super chat. It says it was 4 girls at once taking out his hair.
I've seen 4 girls and 1 man in an orgy too. What's your point?
So, and here's the thing. This is why it's touchy for me, because I experienced a substitute teacher passing the boundary and in front of a lot of people. So it's like, I know it's a possibility. Now, we cannot live without acknowledging the possibilities that are out there, and not gaslighting people who, you know that the possibility is there, and then you're trying to alleviate. Like, one comment that I saw under some things was like, okay, a male teacher, because he respects his job so much and everything, even if he have to do like a one-on-one with one of his female students or whatever, he's bringing somebody into that room just to protect his career, because he knows, not because he knows how it can be taken anyway at any time. There are times where people could even accuse you for things that you're not even doing when you put that on the platform like that. So it's about being careful and understanding how the world is around us, and it's not fair. And unfortunately, you don't want to just paint a picture for someone that may take it another way if you don't have to.
Right. And my perspective on it is pretty much, I'm agreeing with everyone on the panel for the most part. Right. It's, to me though, it's not so much about him. I'm not looking at him. He might be the one that's like, yo, you know, good. I have kids. No gray areas for me, right? There's no opportunity where it could be an open door of, okay, well, maybe this teacher was allowing you to do X, Y, and Z, and that teacher was 100% innocent. But with kids, there's a boundary that they don't really know yet. Right? So it comes to where the next teacher may come and their intentions are different than the last. How does that kid decipher the boundary? Where the presentation of being cool is there. The presentation of I'm a good person is there. Yet it happens. I've seen, literally, like I said, me growing up as a boy, I had crushes on my teacher. Period. I had teachers that I was like, yo, if she would only let me touch her, smell her, I would. Listen, we boys. So it happens.
Realities.
It happens. You know, and it happens to a lot of young boys where we have real hard crushes, especially like you said, Kit, when the teacher's closer to your age. And in some cases, they don't even got to be close to your age. They could be like 45 and fine. And you like, yo, if I get a whiff of that, I'm good for the rest of my life. So that's how kids think though. So when the gray area isn't there, and let's say I had a teacher that was allowing me to, me and 5 other people to play in her hair, let's just say, right? I would have been taking that as maybe as something else. This is why my teachers always kept boundaries and said, no, you stay there, I stay here. You're over there, I'm here. And that was it. And you're a teacher. You're a teacher, Jess.
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps rubbing me wrong because if you put up that one where it says it's not just 4 girls doing his hair, the rest of the class was there also. Or this is a public place. The situation that I told you about with what I experienced, that's in front of a lot of people. It was in front of the class. It was on school bus trips and all that. So please do not gaslight people's situations of what is around us in this world. It's a reality. And people take it lightly. And then when things happen, people are traumatized. And all we could say is, oops, maybe we shouldn't have let him get that, get into the intimate spaces. Anytime why do we get mad if somebody step on your toe in public? I know this is a Brooklyn thing. I don't know about other places, but somebody step on your toe. Let's be real. Somebody steps on your toe. Half the time we're ready to have a whole fight. Not me. I'm not like that, but I'm just saying. We've seen that. People are ready to have a whole blow down fight because your body is your space. And when people pass that intimate space, then it can have different reactions. Not saying that was his intentions. Of course, he did the media consent from what we found out and all of that. But the whole body space and everything and allowing people, because even earlier he said, oh, so then I should have a problem when my wife goes to get her hair done. That's that person's profession. Right. So this is something that you're going where they know they have to keep that professionalism up because you are entering a personal space. So let's be real with what we're talking about here. You may not think about that, but people do. And we have to guard, especially our children, both girls and boys, from the personal space. We teach about no areas. I'm a teacher. I'm a mother. You teach about no areas. Because there are people out there who violate that and come innocently.
Right. Receivingly. Yeah, that's very true. And I think that's the part of where you touched on concerning grooming comes into play, where you keep taking inches. So when you get to a point of now it's a full-blown situation of possibly being violated, now it's like, oh, but it wasn't that bad when I just did this, or wasn't that bad. Like a predator can try to rationalize with their victim to basically say like, it's not that bad because it wasn't that bad for this and it wasn't that bad for that. So if you have clear lines, clear, unequivocal, this is not going to happen situations, there's nothing to argue about. Like, I mean, the whole notion of being the cool, I had plenty of cool teachers, and most of them that I looked at as being the cool teacher were teachers of color. They were Black, but they were very clear, like, I'm not touching you, you're not touching me. We didn't hug. It was none of that. But I still felt the camaraderie. I still felt the part of it of feeling like I was included. I felt the community aspect. I felt all of those things. I felt seen, but I didn't have to be in their personal space, and neither were they needed to be in my personal space for me to feel that. And even from one of my own experiences, and I had to look back at it, when I 100% now looking at it, it was like, yeah, that should have never even happened. It wasn't nothing of an essay situation, but it was definitely me being in that teacher's space, and it was a female teacher, and it was like, overall, yeah, it could have been viewed as being innocent, but now being a parent, would I have been okay if my child said, oh, well, I just did this, I would 100% no. And I could be clear on it. Like, I'm fine with it. I massaged my teacher, like, on her shoulders. And I think I was 5 or 6. She was a much older teacher, like definitely 40s, 50s. And no, did I think I'm 5 or 6 years old. I'm not thinking that was anything inappropriate about it. But again, being a parent now, would I be okay with my child? I don't care if it's a male teacher, female teacher, whomever teacher. Don't touch them. If they ask you, you tell them no. If they persist, you need to get to another adult and let them know what's going on. You need to make sure, hey, I need to call my mother because this is what's going on. And that's just that on that. Like, I feel like when you start pushing lines and saying what's okay, that's why you have these stories 15, 20 years later of things that has happened to now adults because a teacher was just being nice or it wasn't that serious. And because now, okay, I put it on a public platform, it's TikTok or it's Facebook or if it's Instagram, it's not that bad. It can't. No, people I feel are, and not saying him per se, but I'm saying people are using different tactics where they're trying to make it look as harmless as possible. And that really could not be the case. We don't know. So you're better off just not doing it.
Right.
Am I?
And I feel, for me it's the same thing. I think the same way with that. It's as far as what Truth and Reality is saying, because he's definitely more on the side of where's the grace for the man, right? And listen, for me, it's not about him, it's bigger than him. It's about it's about, as men, being a protector and a full-on protector of my community is my children as well, right? So when I have to protect my children, I don't want them in certain spaces or the opportunity to say, well, he's nice, but that one's not. None are, right? So we need to proceed with caution on the world, right? Because in reality, at any given moment, God forbid, that could be it for your child. Or it could be a traumatizing situation that could carry on. Now, that teacher could have good and well had the best intentions for those children. That might legit be the thing. I could give that man some grace in saying that. His intentions could have been 100% pure. I love these kids. Maybe his mind is not that much, above to where he tries to get on a level field with them and say, let me work with y'all. Let me build with y'all. Let me teach y'all that Black men could be something better, right? And that could good and well been his thing, right? But when it comes down to, just the protection of my children, for me, I can't leave gray areas. I can't do it.
My
I
thing is
personally
too,
can't.
if you
Especially when
think
it
about,
comes to being, I'm sorry, Jess, go ahead.
well, I was just saying, like, okay, let's think about it like this, and I like using analogies because sometimes that makes it a little bit more relatable. So we're talking about candy. When we talk, we always say the typical, don't take candy from strangers. We always tell our kids that, right? Now, there are some people out there that are not, that will want to give your child candy, that you can trust them, they're okay, or whatever the situation is. But because of the situations that may arise altogether, overall, we're telling our child, don't take candy from strangers altogether. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's like warning labels. Warning labels on things is because some stupid person tried it. So they had to put a warning label to avoid other people from trying it. So some stupid person passed the boundaries with children on their job, and now there are warning labels that we have to have a professionalism.
And I think the part of it is the accountability on the teacher. You know what I'm saying? As parents, as educators, and also as educators, you have a responsibility. We as parents, we're giving you and basically like putting the protection aspect of our kids to you as an educator. You're with our child for 8 hours during that day. 5 days a week. We're expecting you to almost take a percentage of a role of protection that we have as a parent to our child. So even going further in a legal aspect, teachers are mandated reporters. So if something goes wrong, or something that they suspect, sometimes it just be a suspicion. It don't even actually be full on truth, right? How many people can say that they haven't had situations, I'm just saying in the world, not necessarily here, where a teacher calls CPS and now you got the people at your door because they suspected something. But they were doing their due diligence as a mandated reporter because they're looking at the welfare and well-being of that child. So you being in that space as an educator should have known better to not have been in that type of situation that could have looked in any way to anyone to be suggestive. That to me, no, there's no grace for that. That to me is no, there's no, oh, well, it couldn't be, no. Because if you suspected anything for just saying like as the teacher, let's say I'm the teacher and I suspected anything of any kind of possible essay abuse happening to a child in their home, the expectation would be me to report it and go to the authorities just on the suspicion alone. So that's why for me it's like there's no grade, there's no grace, there's no none of that. He should have known better. He should have did better.
All right. It looks like Kit is having some connection issues. She'll be back on shortly. So I would like that was a great topic. I think we all kind of delved into that, but for the most part, we all are in agreement with that, right? So what I'm going to do here is we are going to drop another video, right? This one is kind of wild. I'm gonna just play the video so you guys can get the gist of it.
20-year-old girl who had to watch me and my brothers jump her daddy after school. I'm sorry. I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you, but we kept asking you to stop bullying my daughter and you wouldn't listen. We sent letters home. We even had a meeting with you and your parents and you wouldn't listen. So now you know your actions have consequences. And since you're too young to receive those consequences, you had to watch your daddy take those consequences. Get some therapy. You'll be all right. A lot of y'all keep asking why I didn't fight this man one-on-one and why I got my brothers to jump him in front of his 7-year-old daughter. And the answer is simple. Life is not fair. You get jumped by responsibilities every day. Bullying is not fair because you're picking on somebody that's essentially a weaker vessel and that's smaller than you. So I wanted to make sure she saw what it looked like when a fight is not fair and you don't have no choice but to let somebody jump you, so she could get the concept of what she was doing. Sometimes kids learn from what they see and not what they hear. So I wanted it to be a visual experience, okay? I'm out here doing the Lord's work, okay? God is pleased with me whether or not y'all are.
Kit, I don't know if you got the gist of that. I don't know if you heard it. You heard it?
Earlier.
You saw it earlier? Yo, hold on. My man is doing the
the icing on the cake is I'm out here doing the Lord's work. That was the icing on the cake for me.
So how do y'all feel about that though? Like,
I'm weak.
I want to play the devil's advocate on it, but I want to hear how y'all really feel about it. Would you be okay with your baby daddy jumping on some man that was beating on or bullying, I should say, your child in school?
I'll follow his lead, whatever he deemed necessary.
Ooh, he said I'll follow his lead.
Like, yeah, baby, yeah, get him.
Get him. What about you? What about you, wife? What if I tow up somebody that was messing with our child?
Nah, man. Nah. Because the thing is, like, how
don't take
honestly, not for real though. Like, to me, the reality of it is like, you could go to jail. And then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, daddy was standing up for you, son, but he in jail now. So yeah, mommy got some things to do. She gotta hit this block real quick, make sure these bills are paid, cause I gotta make bond for your pops. Hopefully we can do it. Like, no, that's too much. Like, no, I'm not okay with that. I don't think, what I'm saying? I feel like it's a mix because, like, that wasn't my reality. I don't have that per se upbringing, but I know it is for some, where it's like, yo, this ain't the world rules. This is hood rules. This is how we give it up. So you got to just kind of take this L, and this just what it is. But I no, we gonna have to get. To me, you know me, I'm the one. I'm going to the office. I will call the superintendent. I will get that school shut down. I will have Al Sharpton in the building. Like, I'm making it a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have to get that kid kicked out of the school. Like, the kid got to get kicked out of the school. But I don't want. You know what I'm saying? We take it to the streets. We take it to the street code, and then, like, you locked up. You know what I'm saying? You in central bookings. Like, we can't have that. That's wild.
I agree with this comment. I would whoop my son from going out there and getting whooped. Yo, learn
No,
my
God.
we-
He said he will whoop his son for going out
No.
and getting him whipped.
There are so many avenues that can be done before it got to that level, to that space. So
Well, he
I
did
kind of agree
say,
with you there.
yes, I don't know if you did hear it. He said he sent,
I
like,
probably missed it.
yeah, I read the comments, and they were like, he sent home letters. He went to the school. He spoke to
It's one of those.
I did hear that.
Like,
he tried.
He tried. He
Okay.
like, they were not doing anything about it, and
oh, well.
That's when to me, that's when I feel like you got to go over their heads. It's not just a school thing. Now we got to make it a district thing. Now you got to go above your head. Now we need to get from your boss to the other boss.
Right. So now the question is what do you teach your child? Like, do you teach your child to fight back and defend themselves? Because now, while you're doing that process, right, your child's still in school getting bullied unknowingly to you because you're not physically there. So
I'm gonna know. My child talk too much.
It's a
But back in the days, they'll be like, "Oh, you snitched," and then that person is still the target in a sense.
Not for nothing. Okay, so I will delve into my own experience with this. So I was never physically bullied, but I was verbally bullied in middle school, like hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even remember really telling my parents like that. Like, I don't remember making it like a full on, please advocate for me type of situation. It was just kind of like I just dealt with it. And I feel like now the culture, like I said, like my child, he's open door policy. Like, I want to know everything. Tell me what did you eat all your food? Like, everything. Did you go to the bathroom at school? Like, I want to know everything. And he's going to tell me. So I feel like the culture is a little different now with the type of parents that we are in this generation, where it's like you're going to get more of the communication side of it. But I still don't feel like even it wouldn't serve no purpose. Now thinking about, like, if me being middle school getting bullied and my pops came to school, or like my oldest brother went to school and like beat somebody up. Like, I don't know. Maybe my brother wouldn't have been that bad, but definitely my dad, I feel like that would have been like, that wouldn't have really fixed the situation. It would have been a whole thing.
It happened to me before. My dad went to the school and just stopped the young man, and stopped the young man, and then he never bothered me again. So
Listen,
But
it's
here's
a,
the thing: it was a
situation for me.
girl. It sounds like to me with this
it was a
situation,
it was a girl. Yeah.
he's a girl dad. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not gonna like a girl dad. You're not gonna go to the girl and be like, "Yo, what you doing to my daughter?" Like, that's why I guess he thought like, "Let me go beat up your pops with
Yeah,
my squad or whatever."
He went and spoke to the pops, but the pops, I guess he brushed it off, and
Kit, what's
then
your thoughts on it?
he kept going. But I don't know. I wouldn't really have, the physical aspect. I would think about that too. But
No
yeah.
comment.
I feel like people really need to be careful when they do things like that, only because retaliation is real. And you might have whooped my ass today, but there's a lot of tomorrows. And if you anything like me, you might be like Peter and the chicken. And this shit don't stop until somebody drop. And I've had to learn how, like I'm one of those, look, you come in peace or you leave in pieces. I don't have time. Okay. The Lord is my shepherd. I'm trying to meet him one day. And I'm like, while I'm here, we're just gonna all act accordingly. Because again, yeah, y'all jumped me today, but now I gotta call Pookie, Ray, little cousin Earl, the one that's got the mental issue on the side, and now you getting
With the
your
little
ass,
twitch.
the one that looked like he's from singing Our Father. Now look at what the fuck you done. Oh, excuse me, YouTube. I keep forgetting we live.
YouTube, this is the family show. This is a family show.
Family friendly show. I'm just not family. I'm working on it. But now you started something. Here's the thing: are you emotionally inept? Are you emotionally secure to say, okay, you know what, this happened? Now I need to teach my bullying, chap not to do this no more, because do you see what just happened to daddy? Daddy got beat up because you trying to
He
be
got
ugly.
washed up.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm over here walking around with the lump because you don't know how to act cool. So are we gonna have that level of emotional intelligence to say, okay, you know what, the buck stops here with me, and now it's gonna stop with you because you're not gonna do this, and I'm going to make sure of it. I'm not gonna brush it off as it's just old kids playing around, because again, some people really love their kids, like a lot. And they be willing to tote the line as this young man did. And I mean, not only was he willing to tote the line, he found 4 other men who ain't his daddy to tote the line. You understand what I'm saying? Not the daddy. And they still whooping somebody's tail behind, what happened. So again, we should be real careful about how we, how we approach things. Thank you, Charlotte. How we approach these situations, because again, how you initially approach it is the catalyst to how everything else goes. And it's not like we haven't seen where people will retaliate, and that might be a different kind of energy. Oh, y'all beat me up, now I'm just gonna shoot you because
Right.
I can't run the risk that y'all are gonna come and try to, beat on me again. So now I just have to, you know what? Now she just ain't got no daddy. Shoot. Damn. Now she just ain't got no daddy. Oh, damn.
No, but I can not for nothing. I totally understand it, and that's the thing where it's like I feel like that's a part of the like a street code type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know how far a person's gonna take it, so don't even take it there. I feel like the accountability of the parent of the bully, where's that? Because if as a parent, I try to instill in my child, like, treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't want nobody hitting, kicking, calling you names, nothing like that, don't do it to nobody else. And if you do, don't you think that the parent over there is upset? Who they think you think they upset with? They upset with you because you inflicted some type of harm or something to their child. So because I try to make that depiction understood. So it's like, hey, if you know your mother will go to bat for you every time if something happened to you. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to be your advocate forever. I need you to know that there's another person's parent that is feeling the same way for their child. So you can't move like that. I feel like sometimes, like, parents kind of and I'm not saying parents, just people or whatever, like, gloss over that sometimes these kids be buttholes. Some of these kids be mean. And they know they kid is mean. And they know they kid got a nasty attitude. And they know how they kid give it up. But they don't like,
check
But
it.
that's why I'm gonna tell you
get
like
them
this.
together.
That's exactly why, because when you said you will treat people how you want to be treated, nah, baby, treat people how they treat you. You want to act up, where you act up is where you get reprimanded. You want to treat me some kind of way. Now I'm going to show you what the reflection of that looks like. So now, look, we can all change our behavior. I'm all for good behavior, but if you acting up, then we're acting up. If you're acting great, then we're acting great. Where are you? When I move, you move just like that. So we're gonna be okay. So if you want, so if
Gonna
you
be some fighting kids in y'all school.
I keep trying to tell people I'm kid size. I'll fit right on in. Okay, half these kids bigger than me anyway. I'll fit right on in. So like, if we're acting bad, then we're acting bad. But what we're not going to do is me sitting out here like, well, I just want you to be my friend. Like, we don't have to act like this. And then they like, nah. Well, I'll just try again tomorrow because I'm just gonna treat you because I want to be good. So I'm gonna treat you good, and I want you to treat me good. Nah, all girl act up, smack her. We have to stop. We have to stop.
What it say? An eye for an eye.
It's
not an eye for an eye. We're not taking out eyes now.
No, it's not even about an eye for an eye, but it's definitely more about like
that's what it says.
I'm saying at this point it's like, okay, I've been good to you and I've treated you properly, and you still flinging poo my way. What am I supposed to keep doing? Saying, oh well, I'm just gonna wipe that off. It's okay. Like, no, okay. So now
it's definitely a teaching moment where you tell your child that person is not your friend. You need to stay away from him or her.
Yep.
Right.
But then you also have to think about from kids' perspectives, like when you're really thinking about like kid personalities and like dynamics in school, it's easier to say, well, that person isn't your friend. But then what if your kid doesn't really have, friends, because this person might be the one that's anchoring people away from them, telling stories on them. It's a whole bunch of.
That's real.
For me, that's okay because my son is
it's okay because you at home. Well, my son is the only child too, so it's okay.
So I'm like, I'm the type of parent where if they don't want to be your friend, you don't force nobody to be your friend. You go ahead and you go play by yourself.
Absolutely.
And you will be just fine.
Tell the teacher, as long as nobody's being disrespectful to you or stepping over your boundaries, you tell the teacher, my son say, Ma, I got this. I handle this.
I think it's a little, well, today's kids, I think it's a little harder just because of the way that they interact and how they act with each other. Like they've got, they have things that we didn't have to deal with, like this whole cyberbullying, like it's people that have unalived themselves because of what they've seen, even when they're by themselves. Like not only am I by myself, now when I try to go on social media to have some level of social interaction,
being more isolated.
You understand? Now I'm being bombarded and infiltrated with negative, and oh, we wish you would just do this. And then now you have these situations where, not all kids, are able to have that level of, well, if you don't rock with me, because I told my son, I'm like, look, we don't beg for friendship around here because you don't. If they don't rock with you, then you don't rock with them, and that's what it is. And that's an absolutely okay thing. So these kids,
we just I feel like as parents, we just would have to teach boundaries, right? Certain in different scenarios. That's why it's like kind of good to have the child around other children, so this way you can pretty much deal with what the situation is around it, and then kind of address it a little bit and give them constructive criticism.
So I agree. So I did chat I dropped the link to join. You could come up. You do not have to be on camera, but you have the opportunity to come and ask the women on the panel a question as it relates to the show. So just throwing that out there. Sorry. Continue the conversation, y'all.
No, I mean it's a big deal, like especially again with the way that social media, runs and how, they have all these, I mean, they have apps out. Like I was like, this is an app. Like, I mean, they have things and communication tools and things they have for the kids, like Twitch and something called Ooh and some, I mean, just all
Snapchat. They got everything. It's a lot.
Boys be
what I'm
on
saying?
Fortnite all day. I want to be on Fortnite. I'm like, no.
I'm so glad I'm not buying no more Roblox. I don't even know what to tell y'all. Like I'm over it. Like, but when it comes to how kids interact now, it's one of those things where not only do we have to like really teach our kids boundaries, understanding, having a better sense of self, right? Like, you don't have to feel like you have to fall. And I feel like that's that generational thing. You have some, because I was the bully's bully. Like I can't stand a bully. Like I was one of those like, oh, so you want to beat up on them because you feel like you can do that? Oh, well, come see me. Like let's talk about it over some cocoa. Like because what I can do. And so, being a bully advocate, it was one of those things where, I made it a point to let, the like other kids know, like, no, not everybody's like this. You have somebody who will, tote the line with you and let people know that you're not by yourself, and and my son is big about that. Like he's really big about like, but no, mom, because he was saying something and he was just bothering him for no reason and he was just trying to jump him and stuff like that. Because I'm like, some kids don't have, friend advocates. Some kids are just they're basically just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? And kids are not like us where we're thinking about what we're forward thinking, right? Where we're thinking about, well, we don't know what this person's home life is like, and we don't know. And so we try to give some level of latitude in that space. Kids aren't thinking like that. If you ain't got the freshest this, if you ain't, got how us iPhone snooties are, oh, you got an Android, like these kids will find anything, you know what I'm saying? So it's not only about teaching them like boundaries and understanding, where your, freedom and liberties stop and where someone else's start, right? But also making sure that in the lesson, it's like you don't have to be that person, for the kids that are the bullies, like they should be getting taught that you don't have to be the bully. You don't have to subscribe, to this kind of energy. And then finding out, because we're just getting to a place where therapy is an acceptable thing for people that look like us. Because especially Black women, we're supposed to just tough it out, take it. Oh, my grandmama didn't need no, therapy. She just did what she had to do for the kids or the family. Like really making sure that that's a cultivated thing, and I don't think it's done nearly as much as it should be.
I agree. That was deep. That was definitely deep. My thoughts on it is for how I teach my son. Just and I could only speak as a father of boys, right? Because I have 3 boy children, right? And with my boys, I always try to teach them, when you go to school for education. You don't go to school necessarily for friends. You will make friends along the way, which is a real thing, but the sole purpose of it is that. Now, will you come into encounters where there's going to be kids that don't like you, they might be envious of you, or you might just not like them? Like my youngest son had situations where he was in school where he just didn't like a kid. So it was almost like, get away from me. And it could come across as bullying, right? It could come across as, why don't you like me? And that could affect that other child for the rest of their lives. That's where I believe a father would come in to land some type of structure on a boy child, on how to move around other people in this world, right? And what my wife offers is the nurturing aspect of it, right? Where she'll come in and teach them how to talk and how to be, go about the situation in a certain way, which is why I strongly and heavily promote families. Why, and this is just a breakdown to the show, to the end of the show, of me promoting families, right? Why I do believe husbands and wives need to be together. We need to work it out. Before we have children, before we say we're going to bring a child in this world, let's start getting back to where's the commitment? Where is the ring? Where is the last name exchange between you and a person to pass that down to her children? It's not saying that the kids are going to be perfect. It's not saying that every situation is perfect in a two-parent household. But when I look at the statistics of our community alone, we need families. We need it more than we actually know. So, with that being said, no one jumped to speak to the panel, and that's okay. We're gonna get that going on another day. But Kit, I would love for you to promote what you got going on. Let us know what you got. I know you have a class coming up. Please talk to us about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have a gummy course that I am teaching. So again, I am a cannabis chef, an educator, manufacturer for different dispensaries, and teaching about cannabis, proper dosing is super important to me. The one thing about the cannabis industry is that it locked up so many people that look like me, but the people that didn't get rich in millions and billions. We're talking $1 billion industry. And so I'm super passionate about making sure I educate not only on the policy and effects that affects change and where we live, but making sure that in people who are partaking that they have proper knowledge. So I am teaching, and just so y'all can see, I had a couple. That's probably why I was a little spicy today. Don't mind.
That's
But,
spicy.
but yes, I'm actually teaching guys how to make a how to make a proper gummy. We'll actually go through the whole entire gambit from start to finish. By the time you all are finished with the course, you will know how to make proper gummies, how to make sure that they don't mold, how to make sure that they dry properly, and how to most importantly make them delicious and infused if that's your thing. That course is actually taking place on May 30th at 7:30. It will be online, but if you are live and want to come to the live location, it will be at Purify IV Charlotte. They do amazing things as far as B vitamins, wellness. They actually have a weight loss program. So for all of my semaglutide, folks trying to, get they Megan on, let me know. I can get you guys hooked up. But the course is going to be super amazing. Make sure that you ask any questions that you would like so that I can get that information to you.
Nice, nice. And do me a favor, drop your link to everything in the chat. So it'll be not in, if you could drop it in this live chat, that's fine. If you want, you could drop it in the replay chat. And that way some people know exactly what link to click on.
Sounds like a plan. I'll drop it now.
All right. All right. Charlotte, what you got going on? I know you busy over there.
What's up, folks? So I just sent it to a friend. On the 18th, I am having a movie premiere in Brooklyn. So if people,
hold on. We couldn't hear that too well. We need to hear that.
Okay.
You are. There's a little feedback coming from Kit's mic. I'm a mute you real quick.
Okay.
Actually, hold on.
Can you guys hear me?
Actually, yeah, we can hear you. Actually, you know what? That was coming from your mic, Charlotte. But go ahead and tell us about the movie premiere. Say it again. Oh, hold up. You're muted. You're muted. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charlotte. Say it again.
You guys can hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you now.
On the 18th, I am having a movie premiere in Brooklyn. It's called Find Her. That is a Saturday. and the location is 126 41st Street in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm actually working on 2 other productions right now. But my main business is I am a service contractor. I submit to government contracts. So if you guys know anyone interested in landing a government contract, they could definitely contact me. I provide consulting services for that as well. And I also write all of the proposals and respond to the documents. So
Nice. So let's give a special shout out to the ladies. We got some big things going on. Let's support them. Let's get on top of this and let's build these communities, y'all. We need this. We need togetherness. We need to build each other up. We need to support each other's businesses. We need to make sure that we stay in touch with one another and see how we can lend a helping hand. And once again, let's build families. Stay in tune for that dating show I have coming on very soon. I am super hype about it. Oh my God. And don't forget, y'all fellas, get your Tish Henley, wash your face, make sure you do your AM moisturizers and your PM moisturizers, because y'all out here looking ashy, man. And we can't have ashy black men in this world. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look. Tish Henley, let's get you right. Click the link in my description and you can get 30% off your first order and 20% off thereafter for the rest of your life. So, Tish Henley, y'all, let's get it going. Anyways, thank you so much, ladies, for joining this panel. Thank you so much for the controversial super chat because we needed it. It added so much to the conversation and it was dope. I'm so chill. Looking forward to our Sunday panel. Let's get this going, y'all. Anyways, we're going to see y'all next Tuesday for Grown Women Talking. Let's do it again, y'all. Peace.